Hey, everybody, welcome back to Lettermen Row. I am Austin Ward, joined by Jeremy Birmingham and Spencer Holbrook. We've been doing these for a long time, just writing them down. Guess what? We're going to bring you some video bold predictions now
Woo!
to get into Ohio State, Nebraska, the long awaited season opener. You don't even have to just give one. I limit you guys to, about 100 words in print, but now you can make like 10 bold predictions if you want, and we can keep track of how great you do throughout the season. Who wants to go first?
I do, and it's this. This guy is going to break the Ohio State record for most passing touchdowns in a game on Saturday.
Whoa!
Okay, so 7 passing touchdowns on Saturday for Justin Fields.
And he's gonna because and expound on that, Burn, because we talked earlier in the week. You think that he should play the whole game, right?
I do, but I also think that the simple truth here is that the Ohio State offense is predicated so much on Justin Fields and people thinking the Buckeyes are going to try to ground and pound. We've talked all the time about the offensive line. I think that the weather is going to be nice. That's one of the weird things about starting the season this late in Ohio is that the number of weeks where you have like passing weather is going to actually be significantly shrunk, I think. And I think they're going to go out and guns blazing. All these, what, Spencer? It gets windy and really cold in November. Have you ever been to Ohio?
I've
I
seen Justin
watched.
Fields carve up the rival in the rivalry game.
I'm just saying they're going to come out and throw the ball a lot on Saturday. That's my opinion. That's my prediction. I'm thinking you're going to see an almost 400-yard passing game and 7 touchdowns through the air for Justin Fields, not to mention the 1 rushing touchdown he's going to put in for a total of 8 touchdowns in the season opener for Justin Fields.
Holy cow! How many points are the Buckeyes going to score on Saturday?
70.
Okay.
Final score 70-21. Should we give that prediction now too?
Well, you didn't have to give it right now. You could have saved it until the end, but now we know where you're thinking.
Yeah,
Because
that's
I
what I'm
think by
thinking.
the time we come back to it, you'll have probably talked yourself into a ninth Justin Fields touchdown.
It's possible. Think about it right now.
Spencer, what do you got?
I think Ohio State will force 4 turnovers and return 1 for a touchdown. The Adrian Martinez, Luke McCaffrey conundrum leads me to believe that Adrian Martinez has made no progress as a starting quarterback. He's the same guy he was when he played Ohio State in the Horseshoe 2 years ago, and that was kind of average against a bad Ohio State defense. Last year, he had 3 interceptions. Chase Young forced a fumble. Adrian Martinez fell on it, so he didn't get that 4th turnover. But this defense is, I think, deeper than last year's defense. I think it's maybe not as talented at the very top, but it's a little deeper. So going, deep into the 3rd quarter, he could still be in there against the Ohio State twos, and the Ohio State twos could still disrupt him just as much as the ones. I think 4 turnovers. One of them is going back for a touchdown, whether it's an interception return or a fumble recovery, scoop and score. Just however Ohio State gets one, they're going to get a defensive touchdown. I think Adrian Martinez is bad, so I think Ohio State's defense will look good.
He certainly has not played all that well against Ohio State, but not many quarterbacks have. That's an interesting one. I thought if you're going to be truly bold, that you would have named who was going to score, Spencer.
Um, all right, yeah, I can do that. I think Seven Banks gets his touchdown since one got taken off the board last year against Northwestern. I was standing right there on the 5 yard line. I don't think his knee was down. I'll still take that to the grave. But I think he gets a little redemption there.
I think Berm had a
Trivia
photo.
time. Trivia time, Spencer. When did Seven Banks score his first touchdown?
Oh, Berm, this is not even trivia against Michigan in that rivalry
Okay,
game.
I'm just
Yeah.
making sure. I'm just making sure you were paying attention.
I thought that Berm had a photo where Seven's knee was down. We're gonna have to go back and look into the archives on that one. That's an interesting, a bold prediction. Both Chris Olave and Marcus Williamson the other day were raving about Seven Banks. He'd had a little bit of an injury earlier in camp. Yeah, Spencer.
If I will add though, that grass is so long at Northwestern that I think any other
Well,
field,
not this.
I think his knee would have been off the grass, and I think he would have scored a touchdown. So maybe it was in the grass, but I don't think it was on the ground.
Not this about the Northwestern grass. I never want to hear about that again. All right. Garrett Wilson, 10 catches, 170 yards, 3 touchdowns in his debut in the slot. It, think about how few teams in the country could hope to match up, whether that's a safety or whether that's their nickel cornerback. God forbid they get into a situation where they're trapped in personnel and have to put a linebacker on Garrett Wilson.
Wow.
That that potential in that spot is just incredible to think about. I think Ryan Day and Kevin Wilson are going to come up with myriad ways to get Garrett Wilson free in matchups that he can thrive in. And it doesn't help any other defense that you have to worry, uh, about Chris Olave and Jamison Williams, the speed on the outside. And then when they start coming in with that next wave of the freshmen, it's just, it plays off of what you're talking about with Justin Fields, Berm, that, the skill positions are what really elevate what he can do this year. He doesn't have an average cast to throw to. He has a great cast of receivers that are going to be available to him. So I think that this will be, we saw glimpses and flashes of brilliance from Garrett Wilson last year. There's some catches that you'll never forget. The one up in Ann Arbor, the early one in the Fiesta Bowl where he just jumped, 60 inches into the air to come down with the football.
The touchdown he had at Nebraska, which was insane.
Yeah, the first one running into the wall there. That was sort of the one where it's like, hello, here he is. The lights are coming on for Garrett Wilson. Unfortunately, that stupid wall there in the corner didn't shut them off for him. But um, this is the time where it's year two. Brian Hartline has more confidence than ever in him, what he can become. They've given him this role to make it his own. And I think this is when he just starts showing that consistent elite production. And that'll start against a team that I think has very little chance of stopping him.
My next bold prediction is that it's going to actually be Ryan Watts who scores a defensive touchdown for Ohio State.
Wow, that's a deep pull.
Hell yeah, it is. Also, here's another one. Marcus Hooker's the starting safety on Saturday when the Buckeyes come on the field the first time, not Josh Proctor.
You've made 4 predictions and not one of them has involved Cameron Martinez.
I'm not gonna give it all away at the start here. Got to hold on something at the end.
I would have lost my bold prediction for this show, which would be that you would predict Cameron Martinez to take a punt back to the house against Nebraska.
That's what I was just gonna say. That was the bold.
Well, there we go. Maybe I would.
That was prediction number 5. You son of a gun.
Spencer, you have something else sneaky in reserve for us?
Well, I'm up to 77 points on Berm's counter right now with all these touchdowns everybody's scoring. I don't know if it's going to get that out of hand, but I actually have a bold prediction that kind of counters everything that we've been saying a little bit. There's potential, and I hate to say it like this, there's potential for Justin Fields to throw an interception in this game. And the only reason I say that is because I think Ohio State is going to get pretty pass happy. I think they're gonna throw the ball around quite a bit. I don't like a lot of Nebraska secondary, but if I do like one corner, it's probably DiCaprio Boodle. I think he's pretty good, and he can.
What a great name too.
Yeah, and they're going to play some of these freshmen on the outside. Maybe there's a miscommunication or something. I just think when you throw the ball 40 times or however many times they expect to throw the ball with Justin Fields, there's that small, probability, I guess, that he throws one to the other team. I don't think that's a bad thing, but he might force the ball down the field. We saw Trevor Lawrence early last year in the first game of the season throw 2 interceptions, and he still had an incredible season. If they throw the ball as much as I expect them to, there's a chance that Justin Fields could make a mistake, and I don't know if it could be on Justin Fields, but I think there is a chance that he throws an interception.
I don't believe that Justin Fields will play in the second half on Saturday, and I know that I know how Berm feels about it. I just look at this from the question of the day that I got earlier in the week was, do you need the starters to play to get their rust off and be ready for Penn State? And I think that Ohio State is much more concerned about finding out how many players can play and getting all of them some experience and some reps in this game rather than risking an injury to leave Justin Fields or Chris Olave out there in the second half. It's just, I don't view that that's going to be necessary. Maybe that's just the memory of the last couple of Nebraska matchups and how lopsided they've been. I think you need to get Justin Fields to the sideline as soon as possible. He doesn't need the reps. He doesn't, he needs to be healthy enough to play at Penn State and then once again in December. So I don't view there as being great upside to leaving him out there. He knows what he's doing. He knows the offense. He knows the rapport that he's got with the receivers. I just see limited upside there. The best case.
That seems like a fairly milquetoast prediction to me.
Well,
just my opinion. I'd like to taste something a little bolder from you here, Austin. Give me some spicy.
Jonathan Cooper, 3 sacks and a forced fumble. If I'm going to follow up what I said a couple weeks ago with him leading the team, you have to get off to a strong start here because, again, in the month of November, might have very few snaps to go through against some of those guys for starters. So I think that Coop representing that block O, I talked to him on Wednesday morning sort of about that, the feeling when he got that jersey, the number representing it, and everything that goes into it. Everything that I have said about how he attacked the year of 2019 up until the high ankle sprain and the way he was practicing in training camp, everything that he was pointing towards that he was going to do. I think that's tenfold now that he is not only a captain again, made the choice to come back, but that Ohio State named him sort of the captain, the one guy with what they're doing with the Block O. And he wants to make this a tradition that other people want to follow. Uh, that means you have to perform on Saturdays. And so this has been a long time coming for him. I think he's going to be a handful. I think he gets the football out with one of those strip sacks that Larry Johnson loves so much.
Spencer, you got another one, and then we can say goodbye.
So I was approached in the offseason by a couple people that said your bold predictions are always positive. They were like, they're always positive. So every week I am going to try and give just something,
Well, you just
whether
said
it's,
that Justin Fields was going to throw a pick.
I know
Yeah.
whether it's super minor or, whatever. My bold prediction here is Nebraska gets the football first and it's 3-0.
Okay.
Nebraska takes a 3-0 lead, and then from there, it's the bloodbath ensues. But that's a bold prediction. I think it's pretty bold because earlier in the week I predicted a shutout, but I think it's going to be 3-0, and then after that, it's just way out of hand.
So you guys have my final score prediction, 70-21. What is your final score prediction for everyone out there in the world of the YouTubes?
Well, apparently Spencer's just going to change his every day, so I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
it's pretty wild.
I'm going to go 59-13.
62-6, Berm. I do not believe that Nebraska can score a touchdown against Ohio State's defense. You get it rolling, and then I think at some point, like I said, the starters will be off. They should be off, in my opinion, early. Maybe that keeps the score, a little bit closer. 56 points. That Scott Frost can take that momentum into week 2 and feel good about what they accomplished. Just an even battle in the second half against Ohio State's third string and freshman.
62 points. So it seems to me like you're suggesting that my bold prediction of Justin Fields scoring 8 touchdowns is pretty much dead on accurate. Perfect.
Well, but then Cameron Martinez won't score and Ryan Watts won't score. So
62, you can get there with a punt return for a touchdown and a missed extra point.
No, you can't.
I'll check the math later.
Yes, you can. 63 is 9 touchdowns, Spencer. 8 plus 1 more is 9 touchdowns minus 1 extra point missed to 62.
No. Yeah, but who are you subtracting, the Cam Martinez or the Ryan Watts? Because Justin Fields can't throw it to either of them.
Okay, Ryan Watts' touchdown was me piggybacking off of your earlier prediction.
Oh, okay.
That is not an independent prediction on my part. That's a metamorphosis of your prediction.
He's done that as well with mine, which was that he doesn't personally believe that Blake Hobbill is going to miss an extra point. But in my scenario, Blake Hobbill will miss an extra point.
I've co-opted both of your opinions and twisted them just enough so that they meld perfectly into what I'm predicting.
So thank you for joining us for Berm's Bold Predictions, where he takes control of all of ours. One more day. We're finally there, and we're going to keep doing this as well. You can read about the whole staff predictions at Lettermen Row every Friday, and we'll bring these videos to you as well, both on the site and for those of us that follow us and subscribe on our YouTube channel for Lettermen Row. Berm, Spencer Holbrook, I'm Austin Ward. We'll see you next time.